Good evening, my fantastic friends. My name is Edgar, and you're watching Mystcon. Tonight we are moving on to part 2 of Sung by B. And so if you couldn't guess, it's story time. I'm actually really excited to share this, so I'm just going to start reading. Chapter 2. The Foolish. The pages were collected by fate of time's promised passage. A man of no importance, somewhere along time's edge, manages to sit in his living room with a guitar and some yellow pages with folk songs on them. He picks the Song of Travel and sings the same verse as the young man in the first scene. He doesn't know to repeat the words, yet without his real control, he re-sung the Song of Travel. As he continued to sing, he entered the euphoric spiral of existence. He hears a voice. "Open your eyes, boy!" It sounded like a middle-aged Englishman. "What did you call me?" He opens his eyes. "Whatever your name is out there doesn't matter in here." A man with a tall gray hat inspects Roy. "In here," he states, "you are Roy." "Where is here?" Roy looks at the man sitting in the chair at a brown oak table. "You are here. What more do you need to know?" The man tells as he moves his long curled fingernails towards the table. Roy is too far from rational logic to argue. Instead, he looks around. "Who are you?" Roy asks the man. "My name is Protogen Prometheus Esquire." "Nice to meet you, Protogen," Roy says, while distracted with exploring his surroundings. Roy stands and inspects a door. The only door. "Come here, Roy, old chap." Protogen Prometheus Esquire picks up a rather classy-looking pipe. "What's behind that door?" Roy asks as he approaches Protogen to see what he is up to. "Nothing of consequence. I'd like you to sample my magical mushrooms. My daddy taught me how to grow them." Roy is already on an enlightened plane, but he has a hard time deciding not to smoke the man's magical brew. "No thank you, sir. I must look out that door." Roy grabs the latch. "Are you sure? They're really tasty." Roy believes him, but he opens the door anyway. He nods to the man and stumbles outward. "Stay away from beautiful maidens," Roy hears his friend's voice echo out. Here now is a forest, with no sign of where he just was. He spins around, but sees only trees. Alright guys, I was actually only planning to do chapter 2 this week, but I can't leave you on that weird cliffhanger. So we are going to keep going. Chapter 3. The Song of Truth. As luck would have it, good old Roy lands smack in the middle of a path. He decides to continue in the direction he thought he originally faced. The spinning, however, helped his stoned state become more intense. As he walks, he smokes. By a stroke of further luck, he had a pack of cigarettes and some matches in his pocket. His eyes catch a glimpse of something moving at his left, but he thinks he is just hallucinating. So he walks over to a pear tree and pulls off a pear. Then he sees her, a lovely brunette in a white flowing dress. Roy remembers that a man, whose name escapes him, told him to stay away from maidens. Roy didn't know why, but he walked faster now along the path. She didn't follow him, so he slowed his pace after a few minutes. He hears voices up ahead. It turns out to be one voice. An old man stands clad in a black robe. The man, almost bald, spoke to a handful of people dressed like Moses.
"Yes," the preacher preached, "we know love. Love is something bad. The Lord gave us joy, and love brings us sorrow, and strife, and suffering. Love is not power, it is a weakness."
"Don't be silly," Roy couldn't help blurting out. They all looked intently upon his presence.
"And who are you, who interrupts my words with such rude comments?"
"I am a traveler," Roy replies. The preacher steps down from his boulder and approaches Roy.
"A traveler? Without a quest? Without a purpose?"
"What?" Roy speaks, finding this hard to process.
"Why is it silly? Are you in love? Do you think you love?"
The preacher speaks in a loud, obnoxious, sarcastic voice. "Well, what the hell do you know?"
"I know more than you, Roy."
The preacher laughs.
"You cannot hide. We can read your soul. We can read you."
Ouch, Roy thinks, as he walks past the group to continue on his way.
"Do you think you love?"
He hears the preacher yelling and laughing still. Roy thinks about this, even though the man was a jerk. Do I think I love? Roy wonders. The way the old man spoke made it seem as though he knew something Roy didn't. Roy finds himself slipping off the edge of a cliff into a gorge carved into the very living rock. As he approaches the painful gravel below, he is slowed, landing back in Protogen's room. He looks around, almost laughing at the complete disbelief.
"Oh, my friend Roy, you have returned to try some of my mushrooms."
Protogen's voice comes like another song. My God, Roy thinks, this is my fate, to be trapped here. I suppose with eternity to spare, I may as well try the mushrooms. As they pass the pipe, Protogen babbles profusely. It would appear to Roy that this man doesn't entertain many guests. He is hungry for an ear to comfort his excessive words. Protogen continues to ramble about the fact that he grows these mushrooms all over the place. "So this is it, huh?" Roy speaks.
"Oh, what do you mean?"
"I can never leave here. I'm here forever?"
"Don't be silly, old chap."
Protogen laughs. "I'm sure you'd die eventually in any case." The magic mushrooms distort the solid features of the few objects in this small room. As Roy looks at Protogen, the mushroom man's face begins to distort. Of course, Protogen continues his babbling now, but Roy is by no means hearing any of it. The songs of Protogen's mouth become a mesh of poetry in the air as Roy watches. Protogen's face metamorphosizes. The face stretches, and the tall black hat becomes green. The green caterpillar on his friend's head begins to wrap around the songs of his voice. Protogen's snout stretches, and his eyes grow black. Like empty wishing wells, they sink into infinity. The shapes that Protogen's face assumes bring fear to Roy's sanctioned thoughts. As Roy begins to panic, he remembers the truth of his situation and tries to enjoy it. Roy begins exploring the truth of life, wishing he could remember how he came to be in this room. The song, he thinks, or speaks triumphantly. With this thought, he wishes he could stop singing the song. He does. He picks up the stack of papers from his coffee table and reclines against the comfort of a couch. He is no longer Roy, and he laughs. Alright, that is all the time we have this week. That is chapter 2 and 3 of Sung by B. Wow. What a ride this one is. So, we're looking at hopefully next week and on to the rest of this story. But for now, your imagination is just gonna have to try to remain calm. As always, I want to ask you guys to check out our sponsors. Without them, we couldn't make these videos. And before you guys leave, be sure to click that like and subscribe and ring the little bell so you can get some alerts. Because we have a lot more to come. Enjoy the rest of your evening, everyone. And once again, my name is Edgar, and this is Mystcon. Have a creepy day.